Hello and welcome to this blended tutorial in Tesla Coil style lightning. So, as you can see from this model I have in front of me on the screen, I have absolutely no idea how a Tesla coil works, so please tell me everything that's missing from this in the comments, and hey, I'll learn something as well as you. Hey, nice. So, there's basically two objects here. There's the one that the lightning comes from, and there's the one that the lightning goes to. Single end of the lightning, forked end of the lightning. You get the general idea. And so I'm now going to go to another layer. I'm going to go Shift C to center the cursor, Shift A to add a cube, Tab to go into edit mode, hold down Control, and I'm going to move it up one blender unit. This now puts the origin of the object in the middle of the bottom face of the cube, which is exactly where I want it to be. So now I'm actually going to go into weight paint, and I'm going to paint the top 4 vertices of the cube red. Now this means that I've created a vertex group called group. These top vertices are entirely in the group, and these bottom vertices are entirely not in the group. And now I'm going to go back to edit mode and press Control R, and I'm going to roll the middle mouse button to bring that up to 2 loops that are going that way round, not that way round, or that way round, but that way round. And now if we go back into weight paint, we can now see that those vertices are automatically like a third of the way between them in terms of being in this vertex group. Interesting. I'm going to press A so it's not all selected. On edge select, by the way, which is very important. I'm going to press Shift Alt right click to select this loop, and I'm going to press Alt M and merge these vertices at the center. And it's going to face select there, and Alt M, Alt merge vertices at center. And what do we do now? Select that, Alt merge at center, and then there's the load of lines that we're just going to, using shift click to select all of them, and delete edges. So we've now got this kind of forked tree. And the reason why we did this in this particular way is it's very hard to weight paint this tree because, well, if I go into weight paint mode now, I can't see anything. I've got no idea how weighty any of these vertices are. So this is our lightning fork. It's a bit bland at the moment, so I'm just going to select these middle vertices. I'm on vertex select at the minute. It's allowing me to click the vertices. I could still have done it in edge mode like and I'm going to click smooth vertex, and let's just shift it down a bit, and we can sort of shift that one. The reason we did that vertex painting earlier is we can now use a shrink wrap modifier. So if I where is it? It's in deform, isn't it? Shrink wrap, and we can set the target. Let's turn on that other layer again. And I'm going to move this up so its center is in the center of this, the thing from which the lightning emanates. I've still not managed to get it right, even doing it at that speed, so you're going to have to forgive my big floppy tongue that's incapable of human speech. And you see I've scaled it up so it's touching the top of the cage here. On this shrink wrap modifier, it's not really doing anything, so I'm going to select the target using this eyedropper and select this cage. And now it's all connected to the cage, which is not exactly what we want, so we're going to select the vertex group, and now the top of it's connected to the cage. And now, making sure that the pivot point is the median point, i.e. the object origin, I'm just going to press double R, press R twice, and now it's, as you see, this is kind of, the ends of the thingy are always on the edges of the cage. It still just doesn't really look like lightning yet, so we're going to go add a subdivision surface. So ramp this up to 4. Oh, 5 even, why not? So a very simple object. Now it's starting to look a bit better. We're also getting a problem that I'm not sure if you're seeing at the moment. If I go into side view and then rotate it round a bit, it's not actually touching either this or that. So I'm just going to go, well, we could do that by going to simple. How does that look? I mean, that does solve it. And of course, the next stage we're going to go to, displace modifier. We're going to have a new texture in the displace. And we're going to go into here. And it's already selected displace there. Texture 001. And we're not going to have an image. We want a clouds texture. Set to color. Soft is good. And if we go back to the modifiers panel, we can now make the direction be RGB to XYZ. And we now have, it's all kind of scriggly criggling around. And if we now go double R again, we now see that it just kind of nicely kind of spiders webs like lightning around there. And we're getting closer and closer to what we want. The next thing to do, just going to add ourselves an empty plane axis, axis, which I'm also going to move to this center point of this here. I'm going to scale it up by 4, so that's S followed by 4, and let's call it, I'm going to call it frazzle, and select this thing again. And going to the displace modifier, we want the texture coordinates to be object, and you guessed that the object we want is frazzle. So now, if we press double R to rotate this, we're now sort of fizzily lightening the thing quite nicely. And I think I want a bit more detail on that, so I'm going to click on this, go to texture buttons again, and let's add a bit more depth to that so that now it's proper wriggly little lightning. Let's rotate that. That's looking good, and so is that. At the moment, if we set to render it, and it doesn't take too long so I can talk this through, there's nothing there. There's no lightning whatsoever because, well, there's no actual surfaces on this object, it's just a line. So we want to fix that. We want to fix that with a skin modifier, which when it comes up, first of all, it looks pretty awful. So I'm just going to press tab into edit mode again and A till we're selecting all. And then this is a key press that makes no obvious sense. Control A, I'm going to scale that down so it's proper thin, it's well thin, but it is in existence. So now, that's kind of nice. Yep, this is looking good. We can also, what else can we do? We could do things like, we could have the skin modifier before the displace modifier, and now you see the width of the lightning is all a bit randomer. That's a personal taste thing. I mean, we could turn down the amount that we subsurface it if we want a bit more cartoony lightning that's obviously made out of a series of straight lines. That's an option as well. We could, if we go back into here, we could decide that we want it to be a bit fatter at the stem. And from this, I'm going to go to this proportional editing thing and go to connected and select that vertex there and Control A, scale that up so the stem, and we can roll the middle mouse button to bring up this circle that affects which vertices are affected and which aren't. So we can make it get thicker in the middle there. Then we select it all of them and Control A, and we can scale them all down so we have more variance on the width of the lightning. That's looking pretty nice there. And of course, we want it to actually be lightning that emanates light, rather than, if we render it now, what have we got? We've got like this kind of grey, white, plasticky thing in it that doesn't really work on any level. So that's kind of important. I'm also going to turn on this layer that has the ground in as well. So, right, new material. Let's call it lightning. And it's not going to be a diffuse, it's going to be emit. And what we want it to be blue, but white. So we want the actual lightning itself on the render to be bright white, but we want the glow from it to be kind of blue tinted. So I'm going to select the colour, and I'm going to go to hex, and I'm going to go 8888 FF. So that's 88 is halfway and FF is up all the way. So, I mean, you can see this on that, well, except that it kind of isn't. But yeah, it's some blue, but there's some of each of red, green and blue, but there's much more of blue than anything else. And the emission strength, let's try, I don't know, 20. And let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. So I think the last thing we need to do with it, well, I need to set up the animation of it, so I'm not actually having to twiddle the position of it as it renders. I'm not quite sure how that would even work. So we'll finish off the go into the node editor. And we want to go to compositing nodes, use nodes, backdrop and auto render. Hold down shift, drag across there, add a output viewer so we can see what we're doing. Shift A, we're going to add a filter, a glare. So now, yeah, that's kind of looking better already. I like to set streaks to 6 and have an angle of 10 degrees on this. And if I want it to look kind of Christmassy, I'll select that and go 0.75. And there we've got, I don't know, we might want to bring the threshold down. There's a load of numbers to twiddle here as well. See what happens if we have the lightning be literally the only source of light in the scene. There's still enough light for it to be lighting up this diffuse texture on the ground here. That actually does look pretty cool. I'm liking that. I might use that in the preview, that setup. Whoa. I mean, we might want to use a fog glow rather than, if we go to the node editor, we might want to go from streaks to fog glow. One thing we do actually have to do, which we haven't done yet, is to start animating this. So I'm going to drag up that to there. We want to go to the graph editor. And I've already somehow set a keyframe that I didn't mean to do, but it's not necessarily a problem. So we've got a rotation location scale on frame 0. I'm happy with that. Let's go to frame 100 and RR. Let's move it to there and scroll out. In fact, I'm going to press the home key and then scroll out with the middle mouse button again to get that in view. And I'm going to go to channel, extrapolation mode, linear extrapolation, and that just sort of moves around. I want it to move faster than that. Let's move that. C for circle select, grab, X. Yeah, that's looking good. And this, which, as you remember, is the thing that controls this. Oh, that's a point. We could actually move it around. But I'm going to, oh yeah, let's go to frame 40 because that worked better. Press double R, rotate that. Basically doing exactly the same with this empty as we were doing with the lightning. But again, kind of random because we don't want them to be moving in time with each other. Channel, extrapolation mode, linear extrapolation, and now it's all doing quite nicely. I mean, so I could just duplicate this, and I'm not going to move it. Then I'm going to shift right click this and control P for parent to object. So we've got a second one of them that's parented to this frazzle empty. And now, though they start at the beginning, they sort of, both of them go their own separate ways. I kind of like that. I think that's looking pretty nice. So, there you go. There's a tutorial on Tesla coil style lightning. Let's have another render of it. See what it looks like. Okay, a slight addendum here. I've realised that I've missed out telling you how to make the lightning pop in and out of existence when the Tesla coil is turned on and off, which is probably going to be something you want to know how to do. It's quite simple to do, really. I mean, I'm just going to press S to scale, and even though I press S to scale and it sort of increases the amount of lightning rather than anything else, if I press S followed by 0, the lightning does disappear. I'm going to just press escape there to make it come back. So, unfortunately, if we look at here, the problem we had before is we've not just got keyframes here in rotation. We do have keyframes in scale as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn off all of the ones apart from the scale and press A, and delete the keyframes. And I'm going to turn everything back on, so that now I've deleted the keyframes that control the scale of this piece of lightning. And I'm now just going to do the same for the other one. Yeah, turn that lot off. Just pressing the delete key there to delete them. What I'm going to do on frame 20, I'm going to have them both pop into existence. So I can select both of them, and I'm going to press I scaling. Oh, got rid of chord button on there. That's why I was recording these keyframes before. I'm going to go back one frame. And I'm going to press S for scale, followed by 0, followed by return, I scaling. So now you can see that it pops in existence on frame 20 there. And then on frame 70, I'll have them pop out of existence. So again, press I for insert keyframe in scaling, and then go to the next frame, scale 0, I scaling keyframe. I mean, as you've seen before, if we press scale, we can actually do quite a bit of stuff with this. We can sort of change the amount of lightning. So I'm going to create another keyframe in there, I scaling, so it actually gets bigger. But well, I've already rendered this.